Hey YouTube, this is We All Juggle Knives with another Multi-Tool Monday. Today we have the Leatherman Rebar. Now in this video we're going to talk about the pros and cons of this multi-tool. We'll take a look at the tool set and see how it compares to your other options. So we have the pliers with replaceable wire cutters, and there's a wire stripper portion right there. And the pliers themselves with the more precise gripping portion, the wider gripping portion. And for the four longer tools, we have the plain edge blade, the serrated blade. Those are 420 HC steel. We have the metal file and the wood saw. And the shorter tools, we have a Phillips screwdriver with a fairly long shank on that. Here is the combination bottle opener and can opener, right, and it has a cutting notch there too. We got a large flathead screwdriver, a medium flathead screwdriver, a punch reamer, and the lanyard hole. Now the more expensive Leatherman tools like the Surge, the Charge, the Wave, they've gone over to bit drivers, as their main screwdriver tool, interchangeable bits, right? So that is, that is one drawback with the less expensive Rebar. You get 3 dedicated screwdrivers and that's it. Now all of the tools lock in place, right? This is the lock. It's a lever basically, and it fits into a notch on each tool. So it locks like so. And to release it, you press that. So my overall opinion in general on the Rebar, I have a very positive opinion on this tool. It gives you a lot of usability for its relatively easy to carry size, and it's well made. It's solid. One thing I like about the Rebar is how easy to carry it is. It's very thin. See, if you compare how thin it is to one of the thickest, right, the Leatherman Charge, yeah, I mean they're the same length, but Rebar is way thinner. Now this is the case that my Rebar came with. See, the back is like so, and it's got a Velcro overflap on the front. Drainage hole there. And some general observations about the tool set and just the pros and cons of this multi-tool. Well, the wire cutters are replaceable. That's a good thing. The tools open from the inside, right, when it's closed. So you don't have one-handed access to the tools. Right, when this is closed, no access, whereas with the Wave and the Surge and the Charge, you don't have to open it. And also, because this opens that way, there's not as much clearance. You see that, right? This you can cut, but this, there's that little dead space right there. And if worse comes to worse, you can always, hold it like this, a little bit awkward, but it gets rid of that dead space for certain cuts. Now one tool that the Rebar and Super Tool have that the other Leathermans don't, they have the reamer punch. Now the biggest item missing from the tool set is the scissors. It just doesn't have any, much like the Super Tool 300. And for that reason, a lot of people will carry a Micra. Behold, the oldest, most beat up Micra ever. But this will give you the scissors, and it also has tweezers and a real small screwdriver, which that doesn't have. So the Micra is a nice little partner for the Rebar. Now when you consider how tiny the scissors are on the Wave and the Charge, it's not so bad that this doesn't have scissors, because if they did put some scissors on it, they might have to put little tiny ones. Now the Rebar is often called the scaled down version of the Super Tool 300, but there are some differences. For example, this has 4 screwdrivers. The Rebar has 3. The one the Rebar does not have is the extra large right there. Now I did find that the tools on the Super Tool 300 unfold a lot easier and they clump less than on the Rebar, just because everything's bigger, there's more space. So the plain edge blade is pretty good on this. The serrated blade is really not bad either. I mean, it's not as good as Spyderco serrations, but once you get it started, it could manage to cut the paper with a few snags. But that's definitely better than a lot of serrated blades on multi-tools. Here's Spyderco serrations. I just always show that because some people say, hey, serrations aren't supposed to be able to do anything to paper. One difference between Rebar and Super Tool 300, the blade shape, specifically the tip shape, on the fully serrated blades. This one is more pointed and has an angle. This one is rounded. Yeah, more pointed is better, okay, because look at these three, you know. This one is the Gerber Diesel. Of these three, which do you think would do the main job better? Right, the main job of the tip on these blades is draw cutting. And when I say draw cutting, I mean drawing it like you were opening a package. Now for that purpose, the Super Tool is better than the Rebar, and this Gerber is better than both of them. Because just imagine if you have to basically pierce into some really thick cardboard packaging, which one of these will pierce better and deeper into the thing you're cutting? Likewise, if you have to pierce into some thick plastic packaging, which would you rather have? Well, I'd rather have the more pointed for obvious reasons. The only advantage to the rounded tip is that it's safer, but I mean, come on. You know, they already have a tool for first responders. It's that tool with the all the one-handed opening, right? So, you know, you don't need a safety full serrated blade. Opening a package is much more common than having to cut someone free of their seatbelt or whatever. So yeah, this should be pointed. Okay, let's talk price. Now this is really the only major gripe I have with the Rebar, and it's not actually with the tool itself, it's just the current price. It's around $60 on Amazon for the satin finish model, and it was around $72 for the black coated model, and this actually sold out for a few weeks before Christmas. You couldn't even get one of those. I guess if it's selling out, people are willing to pay that price, but this is supposed to be their budget multi-tool. You know, I mean, they have the Charge and the Surge, which are already quite expensive. In fact, virtually everyone I talk to who owns a Leatherman Rebar either purchased it years ago when the price was a lot lower, or they had to wait till it was on sale at one of their local stores. Right, so most people I talk to who got this paid maybe $40 to $50. You know, they didn't pay the full Amazon price. I think one reason Leatherman is letting the price creep up and up and up is because they don't want it to compete with the Wingman, the Sidekick, and the Rev. I mean, and now the Sidekick is like $40 on Amazon. You know, maybe that'll change, but as of when I make this, it was $40. Now, come on, man. This thing should be $25. The Leatherman Rebar should be $40 to $50, right? The black-coated model should not be $12 extra, because most people who buy the black-coated model, it's military guys who have to have non-reflective stuff. So it should only be like $5 more. Give the military guys a break, man. So yeah, that's my opinion on the pricing. You may disagree, your mileage may vary, but that's what I think. So final thoughts on the Leatherman Rebar. It's a solid tool. I generally like it. It's very usable for how easy to carry it is. And yeah, overall, I do recommend it. Now in the text description box, I'm going to include links if you want to pick up any of these Leatherman tools. Okay, try to use those links. They do help support the channel. Now in particular, the black coated model can be difficult to find in like regular stores. So if you're having trouble finding that, I'll include the link for where you can get that. This has been We All Juggle Knives. Stay tuned for more Multi-Tool Mondays. I'm out.